Hi, my name is Katie Moore. I'm from Boulder, Colorado, and I want to share with you some success tips I've had in order to take myself from being a social worker all the way to having my own business, living in a foreign country, and making over $100,000 within 3 years. Now, I'll start by telling you I had no business experience whatsoever. I was a social worker. I was a family therapist, working in an agency making only $30,000 a year. I loved it. I got really good at it. So good, in fact, that they even made me the head therapist. And then the joy of that I had from working with people, my customers, helping them in their homes, helping them with their families, actually turned into a nightmare. I went from that to showing therapists how to manage their time and how to manage a budget and how to stay more productive. And that was all fine, but it did not satisfy me whatsoever. And one day, I remember my boss pulled me aside. We were at a community meeting. My boss pulled me aside and said, "Katie, your blouse is too low, and you must set an example for your coworkers." And I thought right then and there, that's it. I quit. I didn't say that right then. But in that very moment, I made a decision. I'm going to live in another country. I'm going to live in another country for a year. And I did. And I want to tell you how I did it. At that point, I didn't know I was going to start my own business. I only knew that I really loved artisan handicrafts. That's all I knew. And I had traveled quite a bit with my backpack to Peru. I lived in Argentina as an exchange student. So I had been around. And all I knew is that I wanted to live in a country that was safe, that was cheap, and that had artisan handicrafts. At that point, that's all I knew. But I put it in my mind, and I put it out to the universe that I was going to do it. And I did. So the 5 tips that I can tell you and share with you today, just to get your juices flowing, just the slightest tip of the iceberg, that is enough for you to see that it's possible, is what I'm going to share with you. And these are big things, but we have to start somewhere. So the first tip I will tell you is that the very first thing we did is we wrote down all of our debt. And we started to save everything. And we had to get really honest because I had a new partner and we both had our own separate debt. And so what we did for the next 6 months is we saved every penny we could, and we paid off absolutely as much debt as we possibly could. That was huge, because that really released the burden of any weight we had as far as traveling. The second thing we did is we had a garage sale. We sold everything. Everything. I mean, down to our dog toys. Everything. We made a big, beautiful tent. We made it look like a boutique. We sold our clothes. We sold furniture. I even went to the local farm that was about an hour from our house, and I brought home vegetables. I laid all the vegetables out on the table, so in addition to all of our stuff that they could buy, they also could buy vegetables and coffee and cookies that I made. I sold that day $2,000. It was huge. It was huge money. And the reason why that garage sale went so well is a couple of reasons. One, I listed every great item that we had on a piece of paper, and I went for 3 days before that garage sale, door to door, putting this paper on everyone's doorstep very early in the morning so the police didn't see me. Every morning I would go 3 days ahead of time and put this paper on people's doorsteps and tell them we were having this sale Saturday morning. The other thing I did is I made this huge sign out of wood, this junk wood that we found, and I wrote in big letters, "Thailand or bust." And so when people came to the sale, they saw our sign. And who doesn't want to support 2 dreamers who want to move to another country and live their dream? So our sale was a huge success, to say the least. Now, the next tip that I will share with you is one that you may or may not know about, but it's a great resource. It's called Couchsurfing. Couchsurfing is a site where travelers from all around the world utilize one another to help each other support their own travels. So it's completely free, and all you have to do is go onto the website, make an account, and basically look at different people around the world, wherever you want to go. And you can just ask them, can I stay with you for this amount of time? This is my idea, this is my plan. And that's what we did. We couch surfed with a woman in Thailand who happened to be very kind to us. She let us stay there for over a month. She had like a hotel. We didn't know it at the time, but we had our own room, and she helped us very much. And during that time, we looked for a place to live. We rented a house because, by the way, we brought our dog, which is another video. I'll share with you how I did that. So we found a house in Thailand, we rented the house, and we started to live and enjoy life. Enjoy what life feels like when you're out of the rat race, and when you have time freedom, and when you have time to write, and you have time to read, and you have time to dream and meditate and do yoga and learn something new. That's what life looked like for us. And we chose a country that was full of artisans. So all the time, almost every night of the week, there were different markets. And we would visit these markets. We went to Chiang Mai, Thailand, up in the north with the elephants. We would visit these markets, and we would scour the markets with our little notebook and our little camera, and we would take photographs of everything we saw, and we would make notes in our book. We would take the business card called Nambat. We would ask for a business card, and we would write down their information, and we would take notes of all the prices of all the products, and we would bring it all back home because it was so overwhelming. You can imagine if you went to India or China or Thailand, there's so much stuff out there, and it's all in the street. It's right out there in the open. You can just see everything from amazing things to totally junky things, but everything feels accessible because of the price difference. I mean, it's so cheap. We lived, just to give you an idea, we lived with a brand new house, completely furnished, with the plastic still on the beds, for $300 a month. So with a fenced in yard for the dog, I mean, it was awesome. So anyways, the tip that I will share with you is if you do this, what I recommend, if you don't know much about what you want or what your idea is, write it all down, photograph everything, go back to your house or your room, load it in the computer, and look at it. Don't buy anything. Just look at it, and look at it again and again and again, because after a while you'll start to notice that certain things get old and certain things still seem interesting. And the things that still seem interesting, after you look at them for quite a while, those are the things that you want to buy. Now, we did not know what we were going to do. I don't know how, when I look back, we ever had the guts to do this, but I'm just telling you it worked out. So when we got back, we told our friends. First, we were blogging. We were blogging a lot. We were writing all of our stories down. Every story, every experience, we were sharing it all with our friends. We didn't even know about blogging, actually. We were just typing emails to our friends. So when we got home, we had a big home party, and we put out all this stuff that we had bought. And when I say I didn't know what I was doing, I mean, I really mean this. We bought ceramics. I bought these little ceramics made of these little figurines. I bought sandals that I had this material put on. I bought jewelry. I bought scarves. I bought hats. Okay, I didn't know. I just bought things that I liked. And so when we got home, we had a home party, and we invited all of our friends, and they were all so excited to see us because, you know, we had been writing to them all this time, and of course they wanted to like share in our joy, and they wanted to see all of our stuff, and they were as excited for us as we were. So they came to the house, and the feedback was so good that we thought maybe we have something here. When I started my jewelry business, I wasn't sure where I was going to sell it, but We lived in a town called Naples, Florida. And in this town, not so much at the time, now much more, but at the time there were farmers markets where handcrafted artisans could also bring their jewelry, their bags, their whatever, and sell it at the farmers market. It was a very mixed market of produce and handicrafts. So that first year when we got back, we started in 2 farmers markets. And there in the farmers market, we got to test our product. And it was only $25 a day. So as long as we made $25 a day, we knew we were okay. And my partner went back to he had his own company. He started doing the handyman work again. So he was bringing in money while we were both selling at the farmers markets on the weekend. And we started to see how certain products sold better than other products. And we started to see that we didn't need so many products, and we didn't want to cart around so many products like the ceramics, like the sandals, but we had an outlet to sell them, except for the ceramics. They ended up on the side of the road. Side note. Anyways, so the first year we did 2 farmers markets, and we learned about how to set up our booth and how to display things. And we've been so blessed. There were so many people that came along and taught us. On our very first day of our very first show, a lady came and said, oh, I do merchandising for a living. And she told us, how do you lay out your jewelry and how do you give the different levels? And we didn't know any of that either. I would go around, I would look at all the booths, I would see how people would put curtains, or this one would do this display or that display. And every week I would say, okay, let's try this, or let's fix that, or let's improve this color. And we went through booth setup after booth setup after booth setup until we got something that looked good. Till I felt good about it. So we did that for 2 years. We started making about $50,000, and this was working from about November until around April. This is the winter season in Florida. It's warm and it's nice and it doesn't rain. And we would go back to Thailand each year, and we would meet with the artisans, and we would do some new designs, and we would ask them if they could make it like this, because we saw at the market, oh, well, this will sell better than that, And instead of just buying directly from them, we started creating things that we thought would sell better. And as long as we could work within their framework, they would be willing to do that for us. By the 3rd year, we got a little gutsy, and we thought, we're really good, and this is doing really well. In fact, it was making about $1,500 a day on average. And by the 2nd year, we had signed up for 4 farmers markets a week. So we were making about $5,000 a week, more or less. So we said, well, we can double our money if we do the festivals in the summer in San Francisco. And my best friend lived in San Francisco, so we decided we were going to go to San Francisco to sign up for the festivals. And that's what we did. Now, those festivals were not cheap. Those are $700 to $1,000 festivals. But you make $5,000 in one weekend selling at those festivals instead of working all week, 4 days a week, selling at the farmer's market. It ends up being about the same, but you have a double season. So we went from $50,000 to $100,000. And we only worked for 5 months in the winter, 5 months in the summer, and we had 2 months to go back to Thailand. And we would do this each year. So with this, over the past 5 years, I've built a business that sustains me, gives me time freedom, gives me flexibility to travel, and is a great creative outlet for me. So I'm going to review with you these 5 tips. Number 1 is write down your debt and see if you can take care of it to eliminate as much as you can. You can do all kinds of things you can to earn extra money by selling on eBay, renting out your house, getting a roommate. There's lots of ways when you want to pay down your debt. The second thing is to sell off your stuff. Sometimes our stuff becomes our handcuffs, our chain, and we don't want to leave our stuff. So we hold on to it because I don't know why, we just do. Get rid of it. Get rid of all of your stuff. Just the basics. Keep with the basics. You can use sites like Couchsurfing that are free. that give you instant access to a country and instant connection with people in the country that will help you. Finally, you can sell and test your products at a farmer's market. This way you'll know what sells really good, you can test it at a cheap price, you can meet your customers, figure out who your customer is. It's a great way to learn your business on a very low budget with very low risk. You can sign up for a month, you can quit after a month. You can sign up for the whole season and quit after one season. But it's so low risk and it's so easy to do. And now with the website, with the web, you can learn everything you need to know about setting up your booth. But I think that that's the easiest way for you to be able to travel, source your own products, which gives you a much bigger profit margin than buying from a wholesaler. It also means that your products will be handmade, which is really important when you go to a farmer's market. They want handmade stuff. And it also gives you the flexibility to have a lifestyle that you really want. So if this sounds interesting for you, then stay tuned with me, because I will be making more videos like this to help you learn your way, and I'll teach you what I know. Thanks so much.